Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I've got ourselves a nice little 2v2 game here. I believe also sent in by Levatus. Here he is, playing as the red troll. Red trolls? These are dwarves. These are dwarves. And then his buddy in the yellow, playing as the dark elves. This is Umbercore. Then we've got in the bottom side, on the other team, Diesel Weasel playing also as dark elves. And we've got Didu playing as the elves. We should probably do music as well. There we go. So for the elves, we're gonna see the ranger with the summoned wolf. The reaper is here for Diesel Weasel. Got the reaper also for Umbercore. And the high hierophant for Levatus. Definitely gonna be going for the crossbow build rather than mass totems, I'm thinking. And the only real question is, what does the ranger do? So we'll find out. I wonder whether you're gonna go for a right side build where you basically look at... Oh wait, we need to swap to the view. So I'm wondering whether we are gonna get some right side business where we go for the howl ability of the summon. Maybe even Martyrial Sacrifice for the explosion there. And buffing them with Spirit Bond, also giving them some regeneration. Or whether it's just going to be all the bow business from her. I think that's probably more likely. But here is Levatus already coming in to do a little bit of bullying. The Mole Rider has been rather annoying already, slowing this hero down, allowing the Hierophant to get in first. And oh, actually Didu has lost his scout here, but Levatus is here to cause some trouble, getting that stone pole right away. And I'm not really sure that the elves will be able to stop this, but they do have the Guardian, which should be rather helpful. Nice little knockdown here from the High Hierophant. Getting in some extra shots with that. The Guardian is super weak at this point in time, so it should be very easy for the Hierophant to just go in and finish it off, especially with the Mole Rider delivering some extra hits. The Mole Rider itself will be going down. Wolf is getting bullied a little bit by the Hierophant, probably forcing a resummon from the Ranger. But she's using just Hail of Arrows to help get that stone pole down. Really important to get out of the range of this fire totem because she's getting absolutely blasted by this thing. It's basically doubling the DPS almost of the Hierophant, actually. As for the other side, we also got a similar fight between the two Reapers. They just keep summoning undead. And we'll be fighting over this flag. That is absolutely an equal fight. Whoever has the flag, however, will be able to do more damage to the other guy's units. It's very important to be able to plant that flag. These two are also rather on the equal end. These will be the Spectres coming in to reduce the speed of the Hierophant. That's also a really good way to deal with the totem. Just shoot it down. It doesn't have much health. Okay, Stone Pole is coming back up for the... Oh yeah, for the dwarves. And now they have an axe wielder here as well. So Didu has essentially been shut down. And Levatus can just very easily use the Godstone to go back home and come up here. But what I think he will do is actually show up at this Godstone. No, he's not doing it? What? He could have absolutely showed up here to mess up the other Reaper earlier, but I guess Umbercore did it by himself. He's also gonna get the Dark Ensign down and capture it. That's great news for Team 2. Not so much for Team 1. They both lost the side sectors to Team 2. And it's very easy for Team 2 to get up here as well after all of this. Now they're working on the bandit sectors with the iron. Levatus is at least... Umbercore already got his side of the deal. He's got frontier posts everywhere. And really the question is he going to pivot into a Hall of Pain in order to pump out some more units? Okay, that was the opponent's flag. You're right, Levatus. Sorry. Yeah, we're casting from replay. Levatus is in the chat. I'm just smooth braining this cast. Of course, you're right. Alright, the elves are gonna get a split hunting cabin and woodcutter here. That's actually a really cool thing that you can do. Just put 3 workers into both. Don't need to do the 4 and 2 split. This is more balanced. But typically speaking, I would say elves need more wood early on. But Didu has wood. He's gonna be fine. Probably need to see a little bit of stone from them in one of these sectors. There it is. Already upgraded Shrine of Growth for that. And in the meantime, you can upgrade the main to get some more workers too. Anyways, the creeping has begun. The Medusas are getting taken on by the Dark Elves. And the Dark Elves. And now the Dwarves are joining in. So it's gonna be difficult for Diesel Weasel, I think, here to stay. It's a little bit too much firepower. But guess what? He does get the scouting post. The others have to turn around. But not before they steal some experience from these Medusa, right? Right? Guys! Don't leave. Absolutely worth it to kill some spiders and steal some XP. Well, now Diesel Weasel will be able to just come down here, and together with Didu, they should be able to get this done fairly easily. But the Guardians are in relatively good health. The Spiders will do most of the tanking here. They're not very good at it, but they're very cheap. Much unlike the Guardians, you really don't want to lose Guardians here. Okay, level 4 is reached by the Ranger. Quite a bit better off than these guys. Levatus might be getting close to level 4 himself. But the fact that both the Ranger and the Reaper here got it is a rather large deal. The Elven sector has been denied, which is annoying for them because this is where the tier 3 resource is, so the Elves really have to take control of that eventually. And actually this one as well. So the Dark Elves taking this is not the most practical thing. They should have definitely swapped that over, knowing that these are the sectors they control. What are you doing, sir? Okay, he figured it out. There's plenty of infiltrators here, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get that Scorching Wyvern down. It's already weakened. And stuns are available, but the infiltrators are still gonna eat a shot there. Quite painful indeed. Scorching Wyvern is going down rather fast to all this firepower. So will that Axe Wielder though, I suppose. Maybe not. Just about made it. That Scorching from the Fire Wyvern is actually not that strong. It's just 2 per second damage. Meanwhile, the Dark Elves here are working on the Storm Wyvern. This hurts quite a lot more. But it's just a single time damage. Doesn't last overtime. Down to like 1,000 health. Wonder what items will drop. Let's take a look. So Diesel Weasel has 5 resistance from this ring. A pretty high level as well. Didu has already bought his advanced items for the Ranger. She hasn't equipped it yet. We'll get there, I'm sure. Currently working on this Ice Wyvern, which is very annoying with the freezing. But it's just a pretty small cone in front, so as long as you stand on the sides, things are gonna be fine. And the Spectral Wolf. Ooh, actually the Spectral Wolf is boosted here by Spirit Bond, so it does regenerate a little bit. Eventually, once it's out of combat, it will heal a little bit. There we go. We've got level 6 for the Ranger here, and it's being put into Howl, Spirit of the Forest, which is actually a bear summon, and Moonwell, of course, for 35 extra resistance points on this thing, and giving it cleaving as well, together with this high health. Is rather valuable. Oh, I didn't know that in the replays we actually have these signals active. Dark Elves are going to try to attack the Dark Elves. But that seems very manageable to me. Wait a second, we're going to have a Kiss of Nord there in the middle. The infiltrators have gotten very low. The weakening aura gets dodged. Didn't work out with that blood shower there, but no problem. So I'm pretty sure these guys both have essentially the same build. They didn't go for Lingering Curse, instead put 2 points in Arcane Force to make the Kiss of Nor a more powerful explosion. You basically detonate your skeletons that you summon. Umbrecore has done much the same, but with Lingering Curse. However, for that, I think you need 3 points in Deep Waters. Just my thoughts on the matter. Levatus is getting Kill Shot level 2. He is already skilled into Barrage. And like I said, he doesn't do much on the right side. He's just going into Brute Force here for the shotgun. He's got himself the level 3 garments, but I think Levatus is having a phase of hashtag no equip. He doesn't put on the items. He's tier 2 as well, and pumping out some Earth Shapers. Frontier Post is getting upgraded, although Rotting Stone is definitely not a nice thing to have there. Ooh, he's taking a big Kiss of Nor there as the skellies explode. But the Dark Elf army is just a little bit puny. I think they can be shooed away, especially with Umbrecore joining the fight. The Elves have been engaging the Dwarves up in the middle. There are plenty of Guardians here, so I think if they fight together, they should be able to achieve a little bit more at the very least. Yeah, Levatus has just an enormous army right now. I think he's doing rather nicely. And a bunch of Infiltrators are getting picked off in the exchanges. Wardens are coming out from Didu. But it's really the bear that will be playing the pivotal role in this. With the weakening, with the Moonveil powering it up, that should be rather on the sick side. Wait, where are the elves going? They're running right through the Dwarven army and they're getting barraged. The shotgun going through absolutely every unit here. The sick Kiss of Nor is taking out several of Dieselweasel's weakened infiltrators. 18% resistance reduction right there. And we've got a focus fire on the ranger, weakening. Oh, it's just one more shot and she will be going down. Lingering Curse is on. That's also an 80% weakening right there, but the Hierophant gets taken down by focus fire from the Guardians, and meanwhile the Ranger does survive. Now it's 2 heroes versus 1, and even with these larger armies, you just don't want to take that kind of fight. The heroes are a very important staple of SpellForce 3. Of course, you are gonna get some multi-pronged harassment every now and then, but it's not necessarily the core of the game, especially in a 2v2 where you do need the heroes to work together. But never rule it out, never rule it out. We've got a border fortress already for the Dark Elves here in the middle. Refinery and Forge are in, so the unit upgrades can't be too far out. And we also have a bunch of Harvesters already on the field. One Spire of Souls here. The other one in the middle. It's already harvested a ton of Echo. Managing to double up on Didu there. Moonveil is on for the Spectral Bear. That's a 35% armor increase at the moment. Spirit Bond hasn't been upgraded yet, but I'm sure at some point it will. You can get this bear to ridiculous stats actually. Ooh, the Hierophant very brave to go in there, but just chugs a potion and shrugs it off. No issue at all. Kiss of Nor actually is the thing that finishes off the Dieselweasel Reaper there. Got the first of the sleepers joining into the fight. I'm not sure this is a great place for the Wardens to be. We might see a huge Kiss of Nor in the middle of this army soon. But actually the weakening was a bit too early. Oh my god. Oh my god. Did you see that? Everybody is on super low health with the shotgun coming in. I'm not sure if they actually benefited from the weakening. It basically disappeared in the same moment. But that was absolutely devastating. If only one more point is in Brute Force for Levatus, he takes down everybody there. I'm sure he's working towards that. Team 2 right now just has a very, very good position. Although their army isn't that much bigger than the other one, it's actually pretty close. Just these high-level heroes are rather dominating. But we got more fortified outposts for the Dark Elves now here. Border fortresses for Diesel Weasel, but he's only on 3 sectors. There's only so much he can do. So his growth is gonna be very minor compared to the others. Umbracore can just pump out units way better, controlling 2 of the big iron sectors. The dwarves also are in an okay spot. Not too much iron, but they don't need too much in tier 2 at least. You can just rely on Earth Shapers instead of getting actual iron units out. Earth Shapers only cost char. But the first balls of steel, but it's getting sniped very beautifully there. Oh no, the second one is gonna detonate on the units. It's already got the knockdown bonus. And Diesel Weasel actually upgraded his infiltrators to have the sprint ability. Ooh, huge kiss of Nor in the middle of those Umbracore infiltrators. He loses his hero as well to the focus fire and the base. The elves and the dwarves are also fighting at the same time. A lot of the Earthshapers are going down, but they now have their shield. Is it going to be enough though? Because protectors are in, which are going to be able to tank a lot of this fire, even though they don't have magic resist, even though their phalanx ability doesn't actually buff against magic. Those Earthshapers still are going to be able to only do limited damage to them. Nice focusing on that Reaper. He's bleeding, but he's just about not going to go down, I think. Oh my god, wait. He survived at 1 health! You are kidding me. Oh my god. He made it out. There's plenty of basilisks around, which is gonna be great in the long term because the Reaper is able to weaken enemies, right? He's got 2 skills to do it with. If these basilisks target something that has 50% reduced siege armor, that thing is gonna disappear. Right, so you can use that on a hero. These guys are going to be pretty capable of doing it. And of course, the main primary use is to just go after bases. He really needed that extra sector a long time ago. Didu can just retreat for the most part at the moment. Levatus has reached tier 3 and he's got his first berserkers out. The balls of steel are detonating onto workers, which is definitely not what they want to be doing. But so long as Diesel Weasel can just return to the fight and help out his elven buddy, things should be good. But that ball of steel knockdown on the Wardens is a pretty big deal. Ooh, there goes the weakening and the magic... No, sorry, the siege damage from the Basilisk is making a huge difference in these fights. By the way, the Fire Golems don't have much siege resist to begin with. That's something to keep in mind as well. Reaper gets weakened, loses half his health to some Basilisk shots. This is absolutely sick. Those Basilisks are very expensive though, you gotta be careful with that. A mini soul harvest here for Diesel Weasel. He's getting his Spires of Souls up in the front, so that minimizes the travel time the souls need to take. I just don't know how you fight these berserkers at the moment, as especially the Dark Elves. The Elves can kind of handle them, they have armor. But once they have magical damage, which is exactly what Levatus is setting up for. He's got these Moonsilver mines. He is gonna be smelting them in the main base as well. He's already eaten all the stone up. But yeah, once he gets the magical axes for the berserkers, they're going to be cutting through both the protectors and whatever the Dark Elves have. They also aren't very good at resisting magic. Even with the sleeper, it's just 0%. Yeah, balls of steel are going to be very necessary. Good weakening used with the basilisks as well. And this is going to take some more time to actually fully benefit from. Buildings are pretty expensive. Diesel Weasel doesn't have much wood right now. Ball of steel connects there with the... Oh my god. Oh my god, she was getting up. And the Hierophant knocked her back towards herself by shooting in front of her, and the focus fire from the entire army just absolutely annihilated that hero. The Dark Elves are coming in. They are tier 3. They have twisted ones. We're seeing a Soul Harvest in the middle of all these. The Basilisk trying to target whatever's weak, but actually these Earth Shapers are giving a huge buff to all the nearby units, giving these 98% siege armor. That's absolutely insane. The elves are mostly stuck in between buildings. They can't attack. You really gotta fix the positions on these as they do if you want to win the fight. So far, so good though. The elves are high enough in number to get this done. The wardens have insane firepower, and Team 2 is forced to retreat with Umbercore now just on 37 population after that. Lovatus has to carry for a little while. Wow, I like this match. This is a good one. We're also gonna get Striders now in the fight. So basically, whenever an enemy is bleeding, these guys deal some extra damage to them. And then the Twisted Ones can further exploit that by weakening the armor of the target that is bleeding or enfeebled. So they're a pretty good combination together. Once you upgrade the Striders, they can apply bleeding themselves. For now, you have to kind of rely on the Sleepers though, to apply it with every attack. The Dark Elf army has some pretty cool synergies like that. And of course, once you have a high Twisted One number, you can just siphon the focus out of enemy heroes, preventing them from using abilities. So yeah, the Dark Elf late game is just insane. We got the magic access for Berserkers, so now they'll be doing magic damage against targets at least where magic is preferable, depending on what armor they have. Yeah, huge overwhelming dwarf force. You don't want to fight this by yourself, definitely. Lots of balls of steel backing them up as well. So I think the elves and the dark elves have to sandwich this stuff. I like the extra ballista. Those should be really good to snap the fire golems out. Oh no, the elves are so clumped up. These balls of steel are doing a lot of work here. Some of the protectors have already gone down. The dark elves are coming in for some sandwiching. And Team 2 does have to retreat up into the healing zone. It does help in the middle of combat too, so that's actually pretty meaningful. But big weakenings are coming down from both sides. Nobody's allowed to have high armor values, especially these golems. Actually, the armored from the Earth Shapers kind of offsetting the Reaper weakenings, but not fully. Not fully. The Reaper is getting very high level here. Level 7 is achieved. The elves have been essentially annihilated, even though they're really strong in this phase of the game. Those protectors have put up with a lot so far, but they just can't do it all by themselves. There's just enough left here for the dwarves, especially to push on. They've got some pyromancers now. That's going to be an enormous soul harvest here for Umbracore. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. Ranger gets sniped once more despite the higher level armor. These pyromancers are just adding in a lot of damage. They also have a small AoE, so targeting these more clumped up Dark Elf units is gonna be a pretty big deal for them. The fire golems are now sieging down this border fortress, and I'm not sure the Dark Elves can hold on to this, even if they were shooting at the fire golems. I mean, how do you do that when there's so many surrounding units preventing you from just doing it? The Reaper even helps out, and that's all of the Spires of Souls getting essentially shut down. For Diesel Weasel, this might very well be the end of the game. He's going for a very good weakening. Kiss of Nor comes through, deleting most of the infiltrators. Very nicely done, but there's just too much left of the dwarves, especially. They're trying to take over this sector. The elves are coming in, and actually all of the fire golems have been destroyed, but the reinforcements from both the dark elves in Team 2 and the dwarves are just a little bit too much. Lovatus and Umbracore doing such a good job here. Spires of Souls are all getting cut down. There's so much stone here for the dwarves to enjoy. I'm not even sure Lovatus really needs it, to be honest, but he's gonna enjoy it, definitely. Maybe he didn't really need this sector, to be honest. It would have been better for Umbracore. Another huge soul harvest. He does have some unused wood buildings. That's definitely a good idea to recycle those. Another big soul harvest for him. Weasel just doesn't get the soul harvest this game, it seems. Got a bunch of twisted ones. They do not have their upgrade yet. Well, what's left from here is basically Titans. I do wonder whether we get to see them, but so far doesn't look like it. It's very scarce to get tier 3 resources. This is a very interesting base for the dwarves, of course. Take it away from the elves, so make sure that they themselves get the moon silver over there. Another big soul harvest for the dark elves. So my, it's a pretty big one. Dark elves are just so good into it, so you basically don't want to go without them. But apparently so are the dwarves. Here's the thing, the synergies are that the dark elves get to benefit from all the corpses from all the 4 people, right? They just siphon up all of this echo. As for the dwarves, their earth shapers will be buffing up both armies. And again, a huge soul harvest for the dark elves. This is what I'm talking about. You don't want to leave that to waste. They benefit from that forever. You could argue that trolls could use that as well. The corpse harvesting and whatnot. Corpse explosions as well from the troll hero. But I think on the macro scale, it's the dark elves that are really important here. And the dwarves just complement them very well with the earth shapers. Dealing with any weakenings. And fire golems giving you some very powerful siege. And the berserkers boosting up everybody as well. So yeah, this is pretty good. Pretty good. I would love to see some Warhorn at some point. Maybe next time. But for now, Team 2, Umbercore and Levatus are gonna be victorious. The very clean late game.